Hello, everyone. Welcome back to yet another political episode. So, it looks like I'm at the bottom of the screen. I'll have to get back up. So, we're going to be talking about the midterms again because we got to address some rumors. Of course, the Democrats are feeling very confident, mainly because they are, after all, the opposition party. The opposition party historically and presidentially does very well in the midterms because they are, of course, the party of change. We even through popular presidents like Barack Obama, the opposition party saw major wins when it comes to these said elections, because ultimately they believe in I would say it like a fair and balanced government. Keep the president in check. But it's not going to be this way this time because 2022 proved to be very unprecedented because probably for the very first time, the opposition actually you had 2002, which was a red wave. Democrats did very well in 2022. A lot of people say Roe v. Wade was a huge benefactor when it comes to that. But it's not going to be I wouldn't say it's going to be their year. They want, what's their best performance? They're going to say, what's the blue wave? Well, the question is, a lot of people someone told me saying it's going to be like 2018. No, it's not. Period. Like in the House of Representatives, it's not going to be that way. And we'll talk about this in a little bit. We got to talk about the Senate first. But you only have 4 swing states and 4 seats in the said Senate. Now you'll say, what seats can Democrats pick up? Well, they could take out Susan Collins in Maine, although it looks like the governor, Janet Mills, is not making her move. This should concern them. Why? Because obviously Janet Mills is pretty much the only major Democrat that actually can take out Susan Collins. Jared Golden's currently running for re-election in the House. You have a couple House Democrats. So, but right now you got some minor characters here. And you already have some polls coming out saying that Susan Collins is already in the game. So, according to polls, okay, we'll get to that a little bit. But yes, Democrats, they could pick up Maine and they could take out Tom Tillis, who we know some people say he's pretty weak. I don't know about that, Tom Tillis. If you look at his electoral history, he is over-predicted. A lot of people seem to predict his defeat. 2014, they all told us that Tom Tillis would be defeated by the incumbent senator, which, blanking on her name. Kay Hagan. She would win re-election. Spoiler alert, Kay Hagan did not win re-election. Tom Tillis overperformed the polls. It was an upset. And in 2020, they told us again that Tom Tillis would lose, only to find out that Tom Tillis defeated Cal Cunningham by 2 points. So the question is, do you think Democrats can pick up North Carolina? Well, they do have this guy named Wally Nickel running. There's a chance that they could unseat Tillis there. But then again, Republicans have a bit of propensity vote. We take a look at the midterm year in 2022. Republicans performed very well. Won every single state at-large state race in North Carolina. Democrats didn't gain much. It was a red wave year in description for Republicans in North Carolina. But so I'm having a lot of major skepticism. Like, okay, is Democrats going to pick up Tom Tillis' seat? They can. But this is pretty much their best performance here. I have this selected by gain. Let's actually gain versus hold. So we're going to change the map up a bit here. And regardless, though, Democrats, their best performance, what they want is to win 2 seats in the House, in the Senate. That is specifically North Carolina and Maine. That's going to be their goal. And you take this is pretty much their best performance we're currently looking at. But they still can't win the Senate. It's 51-49. The good news for Democrats is they put the Senate into contestation in 2028, which wouldn't be the case if they didn't flip any seats. Now, what if they didn't flip? Let's put these seats back in contest here. So what's it currently looking like? Well, then again, it's not looking good for them. Senate polls are not looking good. They want to flip races. Right now, it's looking like the seats are going to be, it's looking sort of like this. We see some early polls saying that the Republican, trying to blank on his name, but the previous Republican nominee for the Senate, he's going to, of course, win that said seat. You have one Democrat running. That is specifically Haley Stevens. She's a U.S. Congresswoman. And it says that Mike Rogers is going to defeat her by quite a bit. But I'm not getting ahead of myself. I don't want to get ahead of myself. But the best performance for them is they flip 2 seats. Best performance for Republicans, they win Michigan and they win Georgia. They get a net worth of 55. Okay, that's the number that Republicans want to get to. 55. It's not a filibuster-proof majority, and although we won't get a filibuster-proof, that's probably not the goal. If you get Glenn Youngkin running, that could put Virginia up too. But as of right now, the 2 seats, Michigan, Georgia, this is pretty much Republicans' best performance. A Republican net worth of +2. They want to expand that Senate. They're going to win it anyway. If they expand the Senate, it's a good year for Republicans because ultimately you guarantee you put a lock on the Senate for the GOP for the next decade, really. So it's very consequential that Republicans, you don't have to try to win the Senate. You're going to win the Senate. Don't worry about winning the Senate. You're going to win it anyway. What they want to do is they're going to have to try to actually expand. And if you can expand by like 2 seats, it shows a lot. And actually, it would give Republicans a huge upper hand in future elections. So this is pretty much what the Senate battleground. You have 4 seats. Maine, it's a blue state. Susan Collins is a juggernaut in that said state. She is getting older. She has been there for a while. Democrats could throw her out. I would say, this wouldn't be a contestable seat. But then again, like the reasons I just mentioned, it's going to be contested. She's been in there longer. The more she's being in there longer, the more that they're going to be urgent to get her out. But it really does depend if they have a better alternative. Right now, I don't think they have a good alternative for the said Democrat. Like a Democrat's currently running in the state of Maine. I don't think there is a better alternative. There's Janet Mills. She's the only candidate. I won't even say Jared Golden is the best candidate. He has already declared. Yeah, he hasn't denied a run, and that's why he has not been declined. Jordan Wood has declined. But yes, Jared Wood publicly expressed she is currently running for re-election. The reason why he's not in the decline list, it's because things could change. You also have Chelly Pingree, who could throw Susan Collins out. But you got just one Democrat running, and that is filed paperwork, Natasha Alcala. And for Republicans, you want all these Democrats here to stay out. Kathy Breen, same deal. Well, then again, there are these notable figures here. Ryan Facto. You got Kirk Francis, Penobscot Nation. He's the chief of the Penobscot Nation. Not really a politician. That's not going to get people out and voting for this guy. Troy Jackson, president of the Senate. So they got a lot of options, Janet Mills, but there's none of them has expressed a desire to run. I would feel comfortable if you have Shelley Pingree and Jared Golden, Janet Mills saying we're not running, then I think Republicans have a shot at winning Maine. But you also have Michigan, Georgia. It looks like, but then again, they say, oh, Republicans are in trouble in Georgia. Well, in case you guys are unaware, Republicans have got a few options. There's Buddy Carter. He comes from Savannah. He comes from that district here. He's a U.S. congressman. And you get Buddy Carter in there. The last couple elections, we didn't run Congress people. 2020 is hard to count, because it was a presidential year. You had Raphael Warnock bettering John Ossoff's numbers. John Ossoff doesn't have Raphael Warnock running with him. So the African-American cocktail isn't going to help much. It's actually, John Ossoff could pull it off pretty easily. If it goes into a runoff, then I would say, yeah, Ossoff has a chance. Mainly because a lot of Republicans just not like voting again. Democrats will do it, but Republicans have a super hard time voting again. And I think a runoff is likely. So we're going to have to see how that goes. But that's pretty much covering it up for the Senate. As for the said House of Representatives and how that goes, I would say, let's see here. We can reset this map. It's really up in the air, really. You have a lot of different opportunities because then again, you have the unpopular Kathy Hochul running for re-election in New York. The Republicans will probably lose that race, although they'll overperform massively. But what they're looking for, is the cocktail effect, and how, they're going to get, for instance, going to, New York, the 270 to win consensus is already coming out, and they're declaring most of the seats called in New York. But I'm saying, hey, look, I think turnout's going to be low. I think Tom Suozzi is going to possibly lose his reelection. We're talking about a seat that Trump won quite a bit. Let's see. And if there's momentum in this anti-New York establishment movement, that could very well gift the seat for Republicans. Yes, you have just New York 4, Lara Gillen, her first term. You could easily flip that also. New York 19, a lot of rural areas. There are some, like Tompkins County and some universal rural counties that you could possibly flip and result of flipping New York 19. Democrats and their path to 218. It's going to be a lot. I mean, they're going to have to hold a lot of seats. Chances are they will win, but really they're going to have to win 3, right? And I wish I could bring it to the current demographic, but let's see. Current numbers. Incumbent. All right. So yeah, 215, 220. Those are the current numbers. Okay, perfect. This is exactly what I wanted. Glad I'm seeing this. So Democrats, what they could do is they need to flip just 3. They can flip, if they get lucky, flip Iowa 1. That's Marionette Miller Meeks. That's why Republicans need to get her out. They need to convince Miller Meeks, hey, look, the results have been sung. You're going to lose re-election. Do not run. So Miller Meeks, she needs to retire. She's been in there long enough. So they flip Iowa 1. They gerrymander and cheat their way in getting Wisconsin 3. And like I said, Scott Perry's 10th district. There you go. Democrats get 218. And I've already said, what's their wall? Well, their wall is no more than, let's see, let's reset the map and go back to the toss-up map. Yeah, you have 205 I'm not going to click all, for the sake of this video and just moving this video along, I'm not going to click them all. But doing math, 205 plus 22. Democrats winning all of them would be 227 seats. That is significantly less seats, by double-digit amount of less seats than they had won in 2018, excuse me. And you'll be wondering, do you think it's inevitable then if Republicans will lose the House? If it's so easy for them to just pick up a seat from Iowa or a seat from Wisconsin and Pennsylvania? And I'm saying Republicans absolutely can counter it. If Henry Collar goes to jail, there's a chance that I think inevitably, that seeing how much attention this Henry Collar is getting, that Republicans will actually pick up Texas 28. So there you go. Temporarily, this helps Republicans 218. You got, let's see here. I hear that Marie Perez is possibly getting primaried. And if she gets primaried out, which would be horrible for Democrats, then this seat goes Republican. That's an easy game for them. Like I said, in New York, there is a possibility that the cocktail effect, this anti-Hochul, anti-New York cocktail effect, kicks in and gains momentum, and this results to a couple seats, relatively 3 seats, going to Republicans. Now Republicans are at 222 seats. And same deal in California. You get a very bad and extreme California Democrat, you get a couple seats, maybe California 21 goes for said Republicans. Look at the Los Angeles area, you'll see Republicans pick up all of those said swing. Oh yeah, this area is definitely going to stay Democrat. Where is it? Yeah. So yeah, Republicans now at 227. Oh yes, 27th district. There you go. But you'll see Republicans, they can lose seats. How many seats did Democrats gain? Well, Democrats, then again, Republicans could flip Maine's 2nd district. Republicans could flip North Carolina 1. Don Davis is losing popularity and relevance. You got redistricting in Ohio. You could possibly gain Ohio 9 and Ohio 13. Okay, Republicans are now at 232. And last time I checked, Republicans had more seats than Democrats had, which was, if I looked it up ago, 227. That was their best number. So Republicans could possibly get to 232 due to redistricting in Ohio, and that goes with losing the Wisconsin's 3rd district, which a lot of people were concerned about. So I would say, yes, we should try to win that district back. And yeah, we challenge Louisiana, the results of Louisiana 6 and Louisiana and Alabama 2, because believe it or not, Democrats stole those seats unconstitutionally, using race as an excuse to gerrymander. We could steal those seats. Now, what about, could Democrats possibly win more than expected, like Colorado 8? Okay, they could win Colorado 8. What about Tom Barrett's seat? They could win Tom Barrett's seat if things fall apart in Michigan. What about Pennsylvania 7? I think Pennsylvania 7's a stretch because Mackenzie comes from Lehigh, and Lehigh County is Mackenzie's going to act like a favorite son there, and he's going to perform relatively well enough to carry that seat for sure. But anything can happen. Republicans could take out 34. Vicente Gonzalez could be thrown out. But Yeah, the Senate, the House of Representatives, a lot of people say, oh, it's done. It's going for Democrats. It can, and it's going to be hard because history has told us that political parties don't hold the House no more than 4 years at max. So why are you sure they're going to stretch it out for 6 years? We got to challenge that. I would like to hold it for 6 years, but we're going to have to see. But anyway, let's go ahead and take a look at the governor's race before we wrap things up. So, yeah, let's reset this map. And I kind of disagree. I'm going to go ahead and say that Georgia is not going to be a swing state. You take a look at Georgia and how Georgia typically votes in these state races. Very Republican. 2022, Brian Kemp, massive. And the reason why, he was pretty popular governor. 2018, Brian Kemp, it was a close race. Stacey Abrams did unprecedentedly very well, but some people say, oh, this was because of the blue wave, yada, yada, yada. You also have 2014, Nathan Deal, and this becomes more irrelevant because Georgia back then was more of a red state. And the reason why I'm saying, okay, 2018 was different, blue wave, there was this anti-Trump movement coming out and voting. Then again, Republicans, Brian Kemp still won by over 2 points. 2026, Democrats have bad recruitments. You already have Sabutu's crystal ball saying it's going to be a leaning Republican. And Democrats just have, let's see, State Senator Jason Esteves, State Senator, 6th District, and you also have Olumni Brown, who is a church founder. Those are not good recruitments. The fact that you don't have like your Congress people like Lucy McBath or like Mike Thurmond, from DeKalb County, or in the former labor commissioner not running. He was also the nominee in the 2010 race. You could have him run, but yeah, he's publicly expressed. But these are two bad recruitments. Chris Carr, Democrats should be freaking out about him because he's strong. He's proven to be very strong when it comes to breaking that black belt. You'll see his popularity has increased from 4 points to 20 in 2022. It's not by much, 5.3%, but you'll see solid Clay County right here. It very big for Democrats. Kamala Harris won this county. Mr. Carr, Attorney General Carr, won this county. He also won Sumter County. He almost won this county right here. So he's taking a look at breaking down the black wall, this African-American area here. You also have some counties a little bit lighter than usual in the blue blob, which holds Atlanta. This isn't good. Chris Carr is going to be a threat to the Democrats in this race, and he's inevitably, and I predict he will win. So much that I'm not considering this at all to be much of a battleground. I'm just going to be quite honest with you. I do think it's going to be Republican either way. I mean, taking Nevada out of the picture too. Republicans, Joe Lombardo, very popular. Let's go ahead and take a look at that race. So Democrats, they just have to hold any seats. They're not going to flip any seats in the governor's race. None. Because you look at this, you got the 3 toss-up seats. Those are all Democrat seats. Those are all Democrat-occupied seats, governorships. And I'll tell you, Michigan, it could be interesting. You have Mike Duggan, a Democrat, who's going to be taking votes away from the Democrat nominee. Sure, they'll say, we got some candidates like Jocelyn Benson, strong candidate. Garland Gilchrist. You also have Marnie Sawaki, which I would rather have than those two, but I don't think that's going to happen. But Republicans have, of course, John James, who has proven to be a very strong candidate in Michigan. He has almost won that race in Michigan, and relatively he could Yeah, it was that 2020 Senate race against Gary Peters, who was pretty popular, and relatively he could go ahead and win it again. Tony Evers, if he runs for re-election, it's going to be difficult for him. Now, it does depend if the Republican turnout's going to go out. That's why Republicans really, really need to pick a good candidate. No, Josh Schoeman is not going to be good enough. He's a Washington County executive. Do better. I would say, hey, look, Tom Tiffany, he's publicly expressed a run. His decision is expected this summer. You got to pray that he decides to run. Tim Michaels, no, we tried him already. In fact, we tried him twice. He lost big in 2004. He did better in 2022. I think we're done with him. So I would say Tom Tiffany's the best candidate we got. He's a congressman. Start using these congressmen, these members of the House of Representatives. This is what Republicans need to do. You need to use Buddy Carter in the said U.S. Senate. You need to use Tom Tiffany in the governorship in Wisconsin. And in Arizona, you have, of course, now I get, ideally, Katie Hobbs is not really that popular. Oh, this is contradictory to your claim, though. It's early, though. There's been no indications of which way it would be leaning. But Andy Biggs, he is a congressman. So, yes, we're obviously going to... People are more likely to vote for someone when they learn that they are part of federal government. It shows that they know what they're doing. They are experienced. They have bumped into problems before, and they have managed to solve them. So that helps people's confidence. So I'm saying, speaking my truth of words, Andy Biggs in Arizona, Buddy Carter in Georgia. You got John James in Michigan, and Tom Tiffany in Wisconsin. Those are our candidates. And of course, in Maine, we have Susan Collins and Tom Tillis in North Carolina. Those are the major races. And Democrats, the only thing really that happens is they just win. Let's go ahead. Let's see. They just win all three battleground states, which would be bad. But the good news is they flip nothing. They gain nothing. Republicans gain something regardless. They gain Kansas. Kansas is not up for the election. Scott Schwab will be the next governor unless someone challenges him from a higher office. What it's looking like right now is... Actually, no, this is the U.S. Senate. What am I talking about? Scott Schwab. Yes, Scott Schwab will be the next governor of Kansas. You're already having indications saying it's going to be a leaning Republican. I think it's going to be solid. Yeah, it looks like okay, actually, no. Scott Schwab looks like he's going to have some sort of contest. You got Jeff Collier, who is the former governor of Kansas. They met from 2010 to 2014. He proves to be kind of weak, though. Don't you notice? No, hang on. No, I'm wrong. No, Jeff Collier was the lieutenant governor of Kansas. Former lieutenant. No, wait, never mind. No, he was the governor. 2018 and 2019. Oh, yeah. I don't know what happened, but the other Republican, his predecessor, must have died or something. Oh, Sam Brownback. He resigned to become the United States ambassador at large for international religious freedom. Then again, it's going to be mainly a Collier versus Schwab. I would rather see Scott Schwab because Scott Schwab, I've listened to his story way before he became relevant in politics because his son, unfortunately, lost his life in the most brutalist way possible on a water slide in Kansas City. His son was decapitated, which, if anyone's not familiar with the famous story, Caleb Schwab, he is, of course, the son of the Secretary of State, but not the Secretary of the State at the time, which was 2016, where he lost his life, Scott Schwab. So I think Scott Schwab, I just have that emotional connection because, I mean, no, you can't go around and say, hey, I lost my son, he was beheaded, which that's not a normal way to die, honestly. And you have that sense of sympathy. So I have this special bias, I would say sympathy, but kind of inspiration from Scott Schwab. See how strong he is to continue to keep going in through his political career, despite holding the body of his son, which how graphic that is, and how that processes through his head. This guy's a strong man, and I know that this man, Scott Schwab, can hold the body of his deceased 10-year-old son with no head, by the way. After seeing that, and I'm being a little graphic, but I'm proving a point, seeing his son's body going down that water slide with no head, then holding that body, and to see him go from there to actually passing a water slide safety inspection law in Kansas, to then becoming the Secretary of State in 2019. In 2018, he was elected and reelected in 2022. You see how strong this man is, and how strong and how good this man would be for Kansas. He's a strong father. I know for sure he would be a strong governor. So that's my kind of thing. I'm biased for Scott Schwab. Not so much no more about Mr. Collier. Yes, he was governor for 1 year, 2 years, 1 year, really. I think ideally that's like, okay, 1 year of being governor. Sure. But then again, there's a chance that the people will vote for him because he was the governor. So I wouldn't get my hopes up on Scott Schwab, but this is basically what the map looks like if Democrats were to win all the said seats. And the answer is, and it's not looking that good for them. Well, actually, yes, it looks good. They pick up they keep their vulnerable swing states. That's good for them. Yes. But Kansas, Republicans bring something home in this regard. They're bringing it home if you like it or not. They're winning Kansas. I don't care if you have the lieutenant governor of Kansas running. We don't know how that lieutenant governor is going to run. And besides, this state has voted Democrat twice. And it's a red state, so they're going to go back to voting Republican. So it's pretty much writing on the wall. Sabudu's and Crystal Ball and the Cook Political Reports basically calling it. But this is the best Democrat performance. But a Republican net worth of +4 in the said governor's race would give them the victory here. So what's it looking like in this regard in the midterms in a nutshell? Well, Democrats have nothing to bring home in the governorship. Democrats are not going to gain the number of seats that they did in 2018. In fact, they're going to underperform by over 20. And the chances that they're going to actually lose more is likely because they have Ohio, they have the opposite cocktail effect in California and New York, as well as the crisis going on with Henry Collier and that how that will impact southern Texas. And then you have the United States Senate. Democrats, in order to actually have a good year in the Senate, so the best case scenario for them is they win the House and they keep their 3 seats in the said governorships, and they flip Maine and North Carolina. That's their best case performance, and I doubt that's going to happen, guys, because then again, rarely, like 2024 was unique. Donald Trump won every swing state. This is like Democrats winning every swing state, but different levels. And I think that's too much. I think it's going to be fair and balanced. It's going to be a red wall. And Democrats, they could get away with one, either North Carolina or Maine, and it looks like they're not going to get away with either, because what I'm looking at right now is the polls aren't looking good for them. You've looked at these two polls, 2020, comparing them to 2020, which they've got it way wrong. Susan Collins, Tom Tillis, they are overperformers. Yeah, I would not wrap my fingers around it. But anyway, what do you guys think in regards to this video? Let me know down below. And as always, I'll see you all in the next political episode.